May. You can find me on Twitter at jmay56. Joined tonight, as always, by my co-host Quentin Crisco. How we doing tonight, Quentin?
It's March. It's mad. I'm ready to get into it, man. I'm doing good. My name is Quentin Crisco. You can find me on Twitter at BuckHisStats. You can find the pod account on Twitter at shaving_points. That's PTS_pod. Make sure to go check out shaving-points.com where you can find all of our model picks for this entire tournament and all of our content at all times.
Yes, sir. And this week we're going to be breaking down the bracket. It's March. It's mad. It's March Madness, and we're going through the round of 64 all the way to the national championship game with the model, seeing what the model likes, what it doesn't like. We're going to throw in some of our own picks as well. So very excited to break all this down. And I have my model pulled up, or my bracket pulled up here. So we'll be doing my bracket picks, the model's bracket picks, all the way to the national championship game. And I think we're getting started out in that South region, if I remember correctly.
Are we doing a group again this year?
We are doing a group. It is open on the ESPN Tournament Challenge under, I believe it is, I can pull it up exactly, Shaving Points Bracket. Shaving Points Bracket. It's open to the public. If you want to join the bracket, see if you can beat the model.
I'm making a personal challenge to anyone listening to it. You can't beat the model.
Can't beat the model.
I dare you.
Yeah. If you think you can beat the model, join our bracket challenge at Shaving Points Bracket. You're not gonna beat it, but it'll be fun to see how well you do.
Absolutely. All right. So we gonna start with the South bracket here?
Yes, sir. The South region. Opening game is the University of Alabama. Bunch of shooters on this team that they love to shoot, as evidenced by the police reports that have came out. They don't stop shooting.
There's no police reports, right? Or are there?
That one of their players killed a guy.
Oh.
And their best player was implicated in the murder. But we don't talk about that. NATO's got this team on the right direction.
That's not on brand for us, so we're gonna move on.
I thought the joke landed, but I apologize.
Model here says, if you couldn't tell, I have not paid that much attention to college basketball this year, outside of just running numbers for the model. So, first game, Alabama. First up, we're going to take a look at how they do against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. A&M Corpus Christi has a playing game against Southeast Missouri. We'll take a look at how they would fare against Bama as well. But the model says Bama, 70% chance of winning this game. So, pretty easy there.
Yeah, it should be Bama's one of the best teams in the country. Yeah, I don't think they'll have a problem with Alabama or A&M Corpus Christi or Southwest Missouri, Ohio. So we should be all right there. We'll move on to the 8-9 matchup. Maryland versus West Virginia.
Wait, let me go ahead and show the people if Southeast Missouri is a upset. No. Gives Bama an 80% chance to win.
Bama's one of the best teams. Yeah, Bama's one of the best teams in the tournament.
Okay, next up here, we got 8 Maryland going up against number 9.
Oh, wrong cell.
West Virginia, the Mountaineers. And this one's a close one.
Yeah, so you got Maryland coming out of the Big Ten here. The Fighting Turtles. I like West Virginia here. Big 12 teams always tend to do well in the tournament, play the best competition year in, year out. The worst teams in the Big 12 can compete in most other conferences every night of the week. So, 9 seed West Virginia coming out of the Big 12 here. I personally like the model is leaning Maryland. My bracket, I got West Virginia moving on here. The model has slight confidence in Maryland just barely passing on here.
So West Virginia here is in the 99th percentile of strength of schedule. Probably the second one of the hardest strength schedules in the country.
You're going to see that for most Big 12 teams.
Yeah. Well, so Maryland's at the 86th percentile though. So
Big Ten's tough too. Yeah, Big 10 and Big 12. I mean, it's tough to play basketball there. So
Maryland's been a lot better at covering this year, covering at 64%. West Virginia's only at 51.5%. So I'm not sure what the spread is coming in on this game at, but you might want to consider, if Maryland's a dog, you might want to consider, more than like 2-3 points could be a good bet to cover. But
absolutely, I agree 100%.
But for the model bracket, I'm taking Maryland because that's what we do.
All right, model's got Maryland. I have West Virginia here. And then we'll move on to the next game, and we have number 5 San Diego State going against number 12 Charleston, and 5-12 matchup. This is where you look for upsets, right? This is where the upset always comes.
Dude, this looks lopsided to me. That strength of schedule difference, San Diego State's in the 91st percentile strength of schedule. Charleston's in the 15th percentile.
Charleston not really battle tested.
Nope. I mean, they've dominated. That on average, they've won by 13 points this season. But against who?
Yeah. But, I like Charleston coming in. I think San Diego State's a bad draw for them. San Diego State, Mountain West, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mountain West, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, has won one tournament game in the past 5 years. Mountain West doesn't do great in the tournament. So if you like Charleston here, the model likes Charleston at 47% on the money line.
Yeah. It's only a lean towards San Diego State. It's not saying it's going to be a blowout or anything.
Yeah, so that may be your 5-12 upset you're looking for. Happens every year, so you always know a 12 is going to be a 5, so this might be your first opportunity at it.
I hate this 4 seed. I can't stand them. They won a championship on a fraudulent game.
Yeah, I mean, the most fraudulent university in the tournament, and Furman is live here. I love Furman in this spot versus Virginia. Virginia's kind of limped into the tournament here, and I got Furman moving on in my bracket, and the model likes Furman as well. So looks like
Virginia's been an underachiever against spread all season too. Only covering at 40% of their games. Yeah. This is a good spot. 13-4 upset here. I'm all in on Furman here. Give me Furman. Feed me Furman. I think they move on. Model thinks they move on. I already bet them on when I threw this together last night.
Yeah. Love to see it. We'll move on to the Creighton NC State matchup. Creighton kind of overperformed all year. They were better than people expected. NC State's I don't know what to think about the ACC this year. ACC overall was bad. NC State showed some signs of life, but every time they had a big game, like they lost to Clemson 3 times, and Clemson wasn't that great this year. The Big East was probably better than it's been in the past 2 or 3 years, I would say. And Creighton played well all year, so it's tough for me here. I have NC State moving on, but model gives a slight lean to Creighton on the money line.
Yeah, it's close, but 52% confidence on Creighton, 48% confidence on NC State. So that's a toss-up. I mean, these two teams are actually really similar. Look at their offensive rating and defensive rating per possession, almost identical. Cover rates, Creighton's at 49%, NC State's at 52%. Average margin of victory, 8 points versus 7.4 points. Creighton's played the tougher schedule. And that's really the deciding factor in the numbers here, probably, that the strength of schedule for Creighton is in the 96th percentile, while NC State's in the 77th percentile.
Yeah, ACC wasn't good. I mean, so you had North Carolina as the number 1 team coming into the season, and they're the first team to be AP ranked number 1 and not make the tournament. So ACC was very down this year. Duke came alive at the end. Miami had some good wins. Virginia did all right. But all in all, ACC, as much as people like to talk about as basketball conference, not the best showing for ACC this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Creighton wins this game, but I think NC State's got some dog in them. So I think they're live here. I don't know the Vegas odds here off the top of my head, but as far as just seeding goes, I think NC State's live here. But
we'll see. Last night it was, where are you at, Creighton? Creighton was 5.5 point favorites last night.
Okay. Yeah, see, I like NC State to cover that then, at the very minimum, because I mean,
yeah,
they're
the model's going to be out NC State to cover at that number, I think. Like, yeah, it's got 54% likelihood to cover.
Yeah, and then we'll go on to the 3-14 matchup. One of my favorite teams in the tournament here, University of California, Santa Barbara, the Gauchos. Oh, let's go. I haven't seen the model yet. Okay. I haven't seen the model yet. I love the Gauchos in this matchup. I watched a lot of midnight basketball and the in the time zone that we live in here in Central Time. Having a baby and everything, it's hard to catch early games, so I watched a lot of late games, watched a lot of West Coast games, and I love the Gauchos in this tournament. And yeah, I mean, I'm a Big 12 guy through and through, but I like Santa Barbara here for the upset, and the model agrees with me. So this may be something I'll load up on here because I was already on it, and now seeing the model for the first time, I love this spot for the Gauchos. Baylor can score, but they play terrible defense. Don't play great defense.
Yeah.
And
defensive rating's pretty similar for both teams, though. I mean, that's right. Their rating is pretty much equal. And offense, too. They're pretty equal on both of those. The main differentiator here is Gauchos have covered 67% of their games. Baylor's only at 52. So Gauchos have been a little more feisty.
Another strength of schedule here for Baylor, 99%. Yeah. I mean, you're going to see that, like I said, you're going to see that for all the Big 12 teams.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like the Gauchos.
Shaving Points podcast is officially a Gauchos podcast.
Gauchos, boy. Let's go. I love the Gauchos. Moving on here. Then we go to a 7-10 matchup here where I'm pretty sure the 10 is favored in Utah State versus Missouri as the 7 seed. This is another one I haven't seen the line for, but I'm almost positive Utah State's favored in this game.
Utah State's favored by 1 point as of last night.
So not really the upset of the century here. What's the model think? Yeah, Utah State. I'm on Utah State on this game as well.
Yeah.
I think
one of the heavier ones you'll see that the model's on. Like, you'll see a few 60% confidence in this, but these matchups tend to be within the 50% confidence range. Like, they do a good job of making them tough.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not down the SEC, but I think the SEC was a little overrated this year. I mean, Tennessee had its spots, and you'll see whenever we get down to it. I mean, I like Tennessee in the tournament. I think they're built for the tournament. But the SEC as a whole, I think, is a little overrated as far as basketball goes this year. And I like Utah State in this matchup. But also, Utah State, they have some tournament experience where I think this is the first time in 3 years that Missouri's made the tournament. So that can play a difference as well.
I wonder if do you know if they have many transfers or anything?
I don't know much about Utah State.
Or I mean Missouri, if this is the first time in a few years.
I don't know. I didn't watch a whole lot of Missouri. I watched a lot of A&M. I watched a lot of Tennessee. I watched a lot of Bama. I watched a lot of Auburn. So I watched Missouri a few times this year. I watched a lot of Kentucky. Um, so I saw Missouri in a couple of times, but mainly just playing those teams I listed. So don't know much about them. I mean, but I think Utah State's solid. I think they're
Yeah.
solid. I like Utah State to move on there. And so far, I'm either an idiot with the model or my bracket's looking bueno. Next up, we have the 2-seed Arizona going against Princeton. So Princeton is one of those teams. I don't know why they would always play so late, but they played in a lot of like 9 p.m. Central games this year in the Ivy League, and this is a team that probably will give the biggest scare in a 15-2 matchup. I mean, the model really likes them at 48% confidence here. I think this could be the biggest scare for Arizona. I'll give a little preview. I have Arizona in my national championship, and I think one of their biggest tests is first round against Princeton. They play good basketball. They don't really turn the ball over. They have some good shooters. If Arizona gets in a slump or like can't make their threes or gets in foul trouble early, Princeton's a team that can take advantage of those little things. They just play good. Princeton just plays good basketball. They're not overly talented. So if Arizona plays their best game, they're going to run them out of the building.
14-point dogs.
Yeah.
I think Princeton is a live dog here.
Yeah, this is one of those games where Princeton's not going to beat themselves. I mean, that's a kind of a basketball saying or a football saying more than a basketball saying. But in the same instance, like I don't. If I remember correctly, I don't think they shoot heavy from three. I think they just take good, high percentage shots, play good defense, and don't turn the ball over. And they're not going to out athlete you whatsoever. And if Arizona goes 5 or 6 minutes without scoring a field goal, Princeton can go on a 12 to 14 point run out of nowhere. So, yeah. I mean, they are absolutely live dogs here. But I think Arizona, I like Princeton to cover here, but I think Arizona moves on. And I have Arizona moving on in my bracket.
All right, let's should we move to the round of 32 in the same region, or should we do all the round of 64 first?
We can keep it rolling in that same region.
Yeah, so I'll just go Utah State, Arizona.
Okay, working our way back up.
Yeah, snake it around.
See, so as much as I like Utah State in the first round, I think Arizona's just too much to deal with. Princeton is built perfectly for a tournament, so I think they have a much better chance against Arizona than Utah State does. But the model loves Utah State in this spot.
Oh, yeah.
58% confidence for what's probably going to be a 12-point dog, if not more.
Oh, wait. Yeah. No, this is this looks a little bit like St. Mary's last year.
Yeah. I mean, I might have to change my tone here because last year I said there's no way St. Mary's is doing what they're doing, and they made the run. But
so
yeah.
So last year, anyone who didn't follow this when we did it, it had the model loved St. Peter's and St. Mary's to go far. St. Peter's, had an early upset, and then they kind of fizzled out. But St. Mary's, man, model was all about St. Mary's all the way to the ship, which they lost in the Elite Eight, I think it was, or might even been. I think it was the Elite Eight that they finally lost. But if you listen to the model last year on St. Mary's, you made some money because it had them every round pulling off the upsets that they kept pulling off, and it was incredible. So hopefully we have a few of those like that this year again. It is looking like Utah State might be a candidate for it this year, which hey, I'm here for it. I'm gonna be betting them. If this plays out this way, 58% confidence, I'll be betting that.
Yeah, that is high confidence for what's probably going to be a double-digit dog. So I'm looking forward to see what happens there in that first round matchup. If Utah State gets past Missouri, which I expect them to do, and Arizona gets past Princeton, I loved Arizona in this spot until I saw the model, and I went against the model last year when we were in Biloxi, and it didn't go well for me. So it's got me second guessing. But we'll go to that 11-14 matchup, NC State versus the Gauchos, boy.
NC State, we got Creighton.
Oh, model had Creighton. I'm going on my bracket. My bad.
Good. And 14, UCSB.
UCSB. Gauchos, boy. I have the Gauchos moving on as well. In my bracket, I have Gauchos beating NC State. This has the Gauchos beating Creighton.
Wait, St. Mary's was a 14 seed last year, right? I want to say they were. So
15. I thought they beat a 2. I thought they beat.
Did they?
Didn't they beat Purdue first round? Which was
they might have. Seed. I don't remember.
I want to say they were 15. They might have been a 14, but I think they were a 15.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, whichever, if 14 seed is the number, you just gotta keep trusting it.
Yeah, I might have to double check on that, but yeah. So we have Creighton versus the Gauchos here. Can you throw an NC State right here just to check my bracket real quick?
Yeah.
To see what it would say. Even better. Let's go, boys. I love the Gauchos. I got the Gauchos going to the Sweet 16. Model's got the Gauchos going to the Sweet 16. I love to see it. All right. We'll move on to what do we have next here? Is it San Diego State versus Furman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Furman's road ends here.
I have Furman moving on here versus San Diego State in my own personal bracket, but it's close. I mean, this year of the tournament is there's not a dominant team. I think this field of 64 is the closest in talent we've had in a long time.
I mean, it's easy to imagine when you think about the NIL deals. Kind of evens out the playing field.
Yeah, a lot of transfers and stuff like that. And then we're still having effects from the COVID rule of adding an extra year of eligibility. So
that's right.
So we're going to see older teams, more experienced teams, which just not accelerates, but improves the odds of a Cinderella making it further whenever you have these older guys. But we'll move on. What do we have? Alabama, West Virginia, or is it Alabama, Maryland?
Maryland.
Okay. Yeah, I like Alabama in this spot. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the country. They've been one of the best teams in the country all year in NATO. It's one of the best coaches in college basketball. I don't think they have I have West Virginia in this spot, but I have Alabama moving on either way. Model, I mean, this is one of the highest confidence it's had we've seen so far.
Yeah, 58%.
The one Bama beating Maryland, 58% confidence. So I think we can move on there and get our Alabama Furman matchup.
A little stronger if you go with West Virginia.
Yeah.
So Model is San Diego State in the next round against. I'll show you Furman too while we're going.
Yeah, it was close. That was 42-48. See. So
go ahead.
Yeah, I have Bama moving on here in my bracket. Model does as well. I think Bama got probably the easiest road to the Sweet 16 Elite 8 out of all the 1 seeds. And I don't think they were the number one. I don't think they were the number one overall seed. I can't remember who was.
I don't know. I didn't catch it. I was just trusting Crawfish to give me good luck, and that was all I knew.
I want to say it might have been Kansas. I know it wasn't Purdue. And it might have been Houston. but I'm not sure. But I think Bama's got the easiest region by far as far as one seeds go.
If we want to see how Furman would fare,
A little bit worse.
Little worse.
But yeah, I have Bama moving on here regardless, and the model does as well. Model thinks they coast easy to a Sweet 16. All right,
the Gauchos end here.
I had the Gauchos losing to Arizona here, and the model has Utah State, which I think the only year we haven't seen a 5 seed or higher in the Final Four was 2018, where you had 3 seed Texas Tech, 2 seed Auburn, 1 seed Virginia, and 2 seed Michigan in the Final Four. Every other Final Four, I think, in the past 20 years has had a 5 seed or higher. So Utah State going to the Elite Eight here, historically, not too crazy. Or even the Gauchos. Either one, but
it's the Gauchos, even though it'll bust the model's bracket. I'm all aboard the Gaucho train now.
I have the Gauchos losing right here in my bracket to Arizona in the Sweet 16. So this is where the Gauchos go down in my bracket.
Yeah. So let's see who comes out of which one is this? The South?
Yeah, South. We'll have Bama versus Utah State. And it is dead even. So in my bracket, I have Arizona moving on here. I have Arizona going to the Final Four. And if this is how it ends up, I'm all in on Utah State. I'm digging in deep on Utah State here. My wife and I are taking a little mini vacation this weekend, and I may make her go to a dive bar to watch this game if we have Alabama, Utah State.
All right, let's move on to the East.
All right, go to the East. Purdue's the 1 seed, perennial choker, the team that can never really put it all together. Good regular season. Probably the best player in basketball was Zach Edey. It's like, and you look at their region, and you have some big names like Kentucky, you have Kansas State, you have Tennessee, you have Duke, you have Oral Roberts, USC, Michigan State, Marquette. Like, it's a tough region for a number 1 Purdue seed. But they're either playing Texas Southern or Fairleigh Dickinson. And if Dickinson wins, the model likes Dickinson.
Yeah.
If Texas Southern wins, not so much.
Yeah, if Texas Southern wins, it thinks Purdue's just going to steamroll them. But if Fairleigh Dickinson wins, we got ourselves a game.
Yeah.
I don't even.
So
the strength of schedule's not even pulling for him for some reason. But
they didn't really play a whole lot of people. But so I have. This is my region of madness, in my opinion. I think we're going to see more seeding upsets in this region than any other region. But I don't know what the Vegas odds will be. But we'll move on to the 8-9 matchup with Memphis versus FAU. I have Memphis moving on here. I want to see what the bracket or the model thinks here.
Let's see. So
Memphis is a dangerous team here. Ooh,
Florida Atlantic. It likes them too.
FAU's a dangerous team too. I like Memphis. I like how they score, but I think the winner of this game beats Purdue in the round of 32 either way. I personally have Memphis beating Purdue in the round of 32, but if I picked FAU instead of Memphis, I would have FAU beating Purdue. I think Purdue is one and done.
Well, we'll find out when we move to the next round.
We'll find out when we move to the next round. All right, next we have the John Shire-led Duke Blue Devils I think they ended the season on a 12-game win streak. People are saying, is Duke better without Coach K?
Haven't they always been?
You would think so. Oral Roberts is one of the teams everybody said coming into the tournament was, I'm betting Oral Roberts no matter what, first round. And they drew a Duke team that probably should have been a 4 seed as a 12-5 matchup. And Oral Roberts can shoot, but Duke is playing really good basketball right now. I mean, this might be one of Duke's best opportunities to make a Final Four in a while. I mean, they technically made a Final Four last year, but did they really make a Final Four when they lost to UNC, who barely even made the tournament? Who's to say?
So, Model likes Oral Roberts' cover here at 6.5. That's where the spread was at last night.
Yeah, I'll assume it's going to stay around there. And everybody likes Oral Roberts in this game. I think they have a bad draw here against Duke. I think Duke's a very, very good football team. Basketball team. Excuse me there. But no, I have Duke moving on here.
Hey, they were a feisty football team this year, too.
They were. Daniel Jones. Danny Dimes leading the victory. All right.
You think they called him Danny Dimes in college?
No, he was terrible in college. All right, we'll move on. Tennessee was one of the teams coming into the tournament that I really liked to make a run. And I think the bracket actually broke their way quite a bit here. I like Tennessee a lot here. They play really good defense. They have the potential to score a lot of points, but sometimes they just don't. So they can definitely lay an egg.
I hate it when that happens.
They can definitely lay an egg, but I love Tennessee in this tournament. I really, really like Tennessee in this tournament, and I like them in this first round versus Louisiana. And Model does too, so that makes me very happy.
Yeah, Model is in full agreement. So,
all right,
who we got next? 6, Kentucky.
We have the future coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, John Calipari, going to lose in the first round yet again to a Providence team. 50-50. I got Providence moving on here.
So does the Model.
Ooh, by 0.1%. All right, so Kentucky, they still have Oscar Tshiebwe, who many considered was the best player coming into this year for college basketball. And for some reason, they cannot get their lineups figured out. They'll go back and forth between their lineups where they'll have a 12-0 run, and they'll take out one guy, add somebody else, and then all of a sudden go down 12-0. It's like something about this team doesn't mesh. If in a perfect world, Kentucky would be the best team in this tournament. But there's something about this team that they just can't find a lineup that works. They've tried a combination of probably 20 different guys or 20 different combinations of lineups, and something is just preventing them from putting it all together. I don't know what it is, but I like Providence here. I think they're well coached. I think they're well coached. I like Providence to move on. I don't know what the spread is on this game, but
let me see. You keep going. I'll find it here.
No, that's about all I have to say. I mean, I like Providence to move on here.
Kentucky's 4-point favorites.
Yeah, I like Providence in the spot a lot. 11 seed to move on against the 6 seed there. Next up, we have another Big 12 team, Kansas State, going against 14 Montana State. Montana State was a team I like coming into the tournament. Kansas State's just so damn good, and the model likes Montana State here, but Kansas State ain't.
Montana State's got an electric offense, man.
Yeah, but Kansas State, man, they're
I'm just at 1.598 offensive rating per possession. That's electric.
Yeah. So when you look at this Big 12, we'll see how good the Big 12 is once we get tournament time. But I think this Big 12 conference was so loaded this year. I think a couple of teams, like I think a TCU could have ended up as like a 2 or a 3 seed in a different conference. I think a Baylor could have ended up as a 1 seed in a different conference. I think Texas Tech could have slid in as a 9 or 10 seed in a different conference. I think Kansas State could have easily been a 2 seed in a different conference. Like it was just so stacked. So we'll see how that turns out. But I loved Montana State coming into this tournament, but I can't take them against Kansas State. But Model does like Montana State as a 14 seed to move on here against Kansas State.
Montana State makes the second most free throws of any team in the country.
You got to get to the line, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, they get the 5th most block shots.
But they haven't played anybody to the caliber of Kansas State, I would assume.
Probably not. I saw that offense somewhere. I was like, I gotta see what they're doing. It's the free throws is a big thing.
Kansas State can score too. That might be an overplay.
That might be. Okay, let's keep it moving. So we got 7 Michigan State going up against 10 USC.
I don't know the spread here. I love USC in this. Oh, okay. Thank you. I love USC. I love USC in this matchup. I watched a lot of USC. I was shocked when USC was a 10 seed. I'm not going to sit here and say I watched 200 college basketball games this year.
USC was 2-point dogs at open.
Yeah, I love this USC spot right here. They are fun. They play quick. They play fast. They shoot. They play decent enough defense. And can we still trust Tom Izzo in March? I mean, the old saying was January, February, Izzo, April, May, June, blah blah blah. But like, what has Tom Izzo done in recent history to make you trust him in March? I mean, I love this USC team, and I thought they were a little underseeded at 10, but I love them in this spot right here. I have USC moving on against Michigan State with ease, and this is one of the biggest confidences we've seen from the model so far.
USC's holding opponents to 39% shooting.
Yeah, they're
7th best in the country.
Yeah, and they play they play with a swagger. They play mean. They play aggressive.
Yeah.
And
so 2nd best 2-point field goal percentage allowed. Like you cannot score in the paint on them. Is what that's telling me.
I mean, I'll give a little foresight. I have USC in the Final Four.
I like it. I like that defense, man. I mean, their 3-point defense isn't great, but like you can't score in the paint on, which means you gotta get hot from downtown.
Yeah. So
which Michigan State is 4th in the country at 3-point shooting, so that'll be interesting.
Trying to find out where I have USC losing, but we can go on to the next one.
Yeah, so we got number 2 Marquette going up against 15 Vermont. And we got Marquette running away with this one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I wanted to like Vermont in this game, but I think Marquette's one of those teams. They're just too well coached. That Big East was nasty this year, so I'll take Marquette in this all day.
Yeah, Marquette. I mean, Vermont only won their average game. They only won by 6 points, and they were the 30th percentile strength schedule. Like, it's not very. If you're that weak in strength schedule, you need to be winning by double digits, I think.
No, I agree. So, we'll move on to the round of 32 in the East region.
Yeah, I'll just bring it back to the top this time. Go with Purdue and FAU. Ooh, Purdue. It was fun while it lasted, Boilermakers.
Yeah, I have Purdue losing in the second round. Whether I have them losing to Memphis, but I would also have them losing to FAU. I think the winner of Memphis FAU moves on to the Sweet
winner
16.
of Memphis SAU beats Purdue.
Yeah, I think Purdue has another disappointing March.
Yeah. Okay. And then we got number 5, Duke, or 5th seeded, I should say, not number, versus 4th seeded Tennessee.
I have Tennessee moving on here. I like Tennessee in this tournament. I like Tennessee in this tournament a lot. Everything doesn't have to go right for Tennessee, but they're just a very well built team. They play good basketball. But I think if Duke can move on from this spot, I like Duke moving forward in the rest of the tournament, even possibly making a Final Four run. But I think this is.
Let's see.
I think Tennessee goes to the Elite Eight until they face USC.
It says Memphis beating Duke. It's Florida Atlantic beating Duke.
Whew. Oh, I mean, I have.
It doesn't like the path for Duke.
Yeah, I like the path for Duke if they can beat Tennessee, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Next
right,
up, 11th seeded Providence going up against 14th seeded Montana State.
I have Kansas State here. Montana State beating Providence. I have Kansas State moving on right here against Providence, but
let's check you.
Woo,
Close.
Very close.
It's very possible.
Providence is a good team. Model loves Montana State. What can you say?
Oh yeah, Model is all about Montana State.
Hey, I can't hate it. I mean, who would have thought St. Mary's last year? Or St. Joseph's?
Because St. Mary's is the Peacocks, right? Or is that St. Peter's?
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. Yeah.
St. Mary's is in this tournament. They're a high seed.
Yeah, it had both of them last year, and St. Mary's is the one that really had legs. Or St. Peter's, whichever one was the Peacocks is the one. That
St. Peter's. Yeah, who enrollment of like 300 people or something, like crazy small school, and I think they're in the boroughs in New York, maybe Brooklyn or Manhattan.
They're a really good seed again this year.
Not St. Peter's. St. Mary's was. St. Mary's is a 5 seed. St. Peter's didn't make the tournament.
Okay.
All right, then we have USC versus Marquette. Oh,
this
ain't good for me.
Wally mopping them.
I got USC moving on here, but Marquette is a damn good team. Shaka Smart. I think Shaka Smart's at Marquette, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get my biggest teams confused, but yeah, Shaka Smart's a damn good coach. I think
to tell it to those folks in Austin, Texas.
Well, they don't know anything. They got out-hired by the even more morally bankrupt institution than they are in Ole Miss and signing Chris Beard today. So congratulations, Ole Miss. I don't think there's a more on-brand hire in college basketball in the last 10 years than Ole Miss hiring Chris Beard, but I digress.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
I think so. I have USC in my Final Four, and I think this is their toughest matchup here. And by the looks of this model pick, it is not even going to be close. But I'm hoping I'm right because like I said, 5-seed or higher has made a Final Four in the past 20 years outside of the 2018. And USC is my pick to make the Final Four here. But Marquette is just so damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. Model agrees. Marquette is so damn good. Sorry, I just realized I got to give my my respect to my squad, who's just not in it this year.
I had to give a shout out to our boys, Davide Moretti, Jarrett Culver, and Matt Mooney. There
we go.
It was a fun year.
That was a great year.
It was a
fun
year. Love you guys. I hope y'all are doing well.
Yeah. Next up here, we got number 9, Florida Atlantic.
Going against Tennessee?
4, yep. The Vols. Volunteering victory over to FAU.
Okay, so maybe FAU's the seed higher than 5 that makes it to the Final Four. I have Tennessee beating Memphis here in my bracket. I have Tennessee moving on against Memphis, but I may change my Memphis pick to FAU with how much the model loves FAU here.
got Memphis a little bit closer of a game, but thinks FAU's the squad.
FAU might be my pick then. I may have to go back and revise a couple of things, but yeah, I have Tennessee moving on here. Obviously, I said I have USC in the Final Four, so I have Tennessee versus USC. But what do we have for the Elite Eight matchup, or is Sweet 16 matchup?
I'm really hoping for an FAU Montana State. Let's see here.
See, my bracket here is Kansas State versus USC. So
the party's over for Montana State.
Marquette is damn good.
Yeah.
How great would it be for Shaka Smart to take Marquette to a Final Four? His second year. After never doing it.
And the party's over for FAU too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean looks like it's Marquette's.
So far we got Alabama and Marquette.
So we have a 1 seed and a 2 seed. So we need something crazy to happen in the Midwest or the West region.
Need the math to come out for us.
So far in my personal bracket, I have Arizona versus USC in a Final Four matchup. But we'll go on to Houston versus Northern Kentucky. I don't think there's much to say here. I think Houston wins easily. They've been one of the best teams all year. Houston moves on versus Northern Kentucky. We'll go to Iowa versus Auburn.
Average margin of victory 18.5 points, but they only covered 53% of the time.
Most of their spreads were in the 20s.
They had to be like that. They have to be that number.
Yeah.
For the model, I usually don't include spreads over 10 because they get super variable. So I just didn't see Houston a lot this year.
Yeah, Houston's been a wagon. They've been very, very good. We'll go Iowa versus Auburn. Model likes Auburn here. I have Iowa moving on. I think the Big Ten just plays better basketball than the SEC. Honestly, that's my only reason why I'm picking Iowa here. I could see Auburn moving on as well. I mean, they probably have the better coach in this matchup, and so I can't really say much about the model like in Auburn here at 55% confidence. I like Iowa, but I think both teams lose to Houston in the next round anyway. So
yeah, that seems likely. So next up here we got 5th seed
Miami.
Yep.
Versus Drake. Drake was another
Miami of Florida, in case you were wondering.
And Drake was another one of those teams a lot of people like coming into the tournament, and I think they got a bad draw. I think Miami blows past Drake. I think Drake was one of those teams that if they could have pulled a Tennessee or if they could have pulled a Baylor or something like that.
Only opened as a 2.5 point spread.
Really?
I don't know if I'm betting Drake to cover.
Yeah, no. This is one of the worst draws imaginable for Drake. I think they could have played better teams than Miami and had a lot better winning percentage, but it's not a good matchup for Drake. I like Miami moving on here. And the model, that's our biggest one of the night, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably about as big as we've seen. All right, next up we got 4-seeded Indiana.
Indiana versus Kent State. Kent State, man, I love this Kent State team. I'm excited to see what the model thinks here.
For the sake of the boys over at OnTap Sportsnet, I just want it to be known that Kent is not a state.
Just so they know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Model loves Kent State. I love Kent State.
Yeah.
Feed me Kent State here. I love Kent State in this matchup.
This is going to be last year. Last year, the model didn't have that wild of a first round. It was right on a lot of them, but it didn't have that many wild ones. This year's shaping up pretty wild.
Yeah. No, I love Kent State. Like, a lot of people were saying they love Kent State coming into this tournament and didn't like the Indiana draw. I love the Indiana draw for Kent State here. And the model agrees. I mean, I'm excited to see this matchup. And I think Kent State covers, and I think they win outright. And the model agrees very heavily.
Let me see what the spread is on this.
This got to be double digits. 9.5 at the lowest, I would assume.
4.
4. I
Mhm.
thought it would be much bigger than that. I
4.
love,
Kent State's dog, 4 points.
yeah, I love Kent State in this spot.
All right. So before this next one, I want to do the playing game because I think this is going to be a good playing game.
I like Mississippi State in this
versus
game.
Pitt. Dude,
I like Mississippi
Pittsburgh has
State.
been my money team all year. 69% cover rate.
Who's favored in this game? I think Mississippi State by 2 points. Last I checked.
Yeah, Mississippi State 1.5 was the last I saw.
Okay. Yeah, I like Mississippi State here.
Dude, Vegas has slept on Pitt all year. And I've just been
gotta
making
hop on the
money
Pitt
on
train.
Pitt all year.
That's me for Penn State, but I like Mississippi State here. But let's give it to Pitt. Let's say Pitt wins.
So Pitt wins. It's Pitt convincingly if Pitt wins
against Iowa State.
Yeah.
I mean, the model's not giving much respect to the Big 12 here.
And if it's Mississippi State, I still think they win.
I think Iowa State moves on in this spot, regardless of who wins.
Let me see. Because I take out what I do with this for the tournament. I do it all. Wait, here, I'll do it on the other one. I do it all where I don't factor in their home against the spread numbers. I just do road. I do total against the spread and road against the spread twice instead of home team, away team, because they're all road games at this point.
I think
Iowa State might be a heavy like home team advantage.
Well, I'm thinking that.
Yeah, they've only covered 36% on the road this year.
But the Big 12 is so. Big 12 is so difficult. It's the best. It's the best conference by far. It's like top to bottom. So it's hard to judge numbers coming out of the Big 12. Like, we'll see how they do in the tournament. But I feel like it's hard to judge the Big 12 based on numbers. And I think Iowa State's a damn good team.
Yeah. They're 4-7 on the road against the spread. And 12-9 at home against the spread.
But if you look at the Big 12 at all, if you look at the Big 12 as a whole,
something along those lines.
Like,
I feel you. I understand where you're coming from.
The winning percentage for if you look at any Big 12 team, the Oklahomas of the world, the Texas Techs of the world, who didn't have great seasons, still won at home this year.
Yeah,
that's how good the Big 12 was.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, it's completely valid. I think Ames, Iowa is probably a really hostile place, and that could probably make them look a little better than they might be.
Yeah, it could. I love Iowa State in that spot. I actually have Iowa State moving on past that, but we'll go to the 3-14 matchup of Xavier versus Kennesaw State. I like Xavier in this matchup. It's closer than I thought it would be for the model here. I think Big East might have been the second best conference this year in basketball. I like Xavier a lot in this spot, but model tends to agree.
Yeah.
53 versus 46.
I see why those aren't filling in. Sorry, give me 1 sec. There are 5 teams on my table that didn't have the autofill down. So that
gotcha.
Yeah, there we go. Now we got the average margin of victory in there. Getting that in there cut down the confidence a little bit.
Yeah, but average margin of victory compared to strength of schedule, 94% strength of schedule versus 46% strength of schedule, and Xavier still won by a point more than Kennesaw State did. So,
yeah, I want to see something real quick.
All right, I'll be right back.
I think it was this one. So earlier there was one that didn't autofill, and I want to see the changes if I get it included in there. Let's see. Sorry for the technical difficulty real quick. actually Ken Palm. We'll get this fixed up for you guys. I got a monster database here, all built in Google Sheets, which is fun. I hope you guys like Excel sheets as much as I do.
All you nerds out there.
Absolutely. Let's see through.
You're able to see the magic behind the curtain here.
Yeah, you're getting a sneak peek on this thing. It's a monster of a spreadsheet. Absolute monster. I just like slaved for 3 days straight last year making this thing, and it's been good to me. Let me make sure one more thing, and then we'll be good to go. $3.99. Yeah, let's go to 406. Hope no one's getting dizzy watching this.
Aaron Rodgers just texted soul with 2 laughing emojis. SULLLLLLLLL. Period. Laughing emoji.
Magnet door.
Laughing emoji.
Magnet door.
I don't know what that means, but here we
Yo,
are.
remember Le'Veon Bell, magnet door?
No, yeah, I know that, but I don't know what soul means.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. So that's your Aaron Rodgers update for the episode. You got tweeted 7 minutes ago, has 1.3 million impressions and 775 quote tweets.
That's impressive.
It's just all about the internet clout. He's about to drop a podcast.
There we go. All right, now we're Gucci. Well, close enough to Gucci.
Just searching for dick.
That's right. That's what we do on this show. Okay, let's see. 7 Texas A&M
versus Penn State. I love Penn State in this matchup, so I'm hoping and praying the model agrees.
Dude, A&M's been a monster against spread this year.
Dude, okay. A&M's won me so much money this year.
Yeah.
And I hate to go against them, but Penn State has also won me a lot of money this year, so I hate to go against them. Like, this is this is a nightmare scenario for me. Round 1, I took Penn State because they won me a little bit more money than A&M has won me, but I can't. I might have to just change my pick to A&M here if the model is so heavily on A&M. Because every time the model's been on A&M for me this year, they won for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've done well on A&M this year. I'm fine. I haven't noticed Penn State as much, probably because I just the numbers didn't line up as well. But I mean, they're covering 60%, so I mean, they clearly were covering well.
No, Penn State did well for me this year, but so this got A&M Texas round of 32 lined up unless Colgate can get it done. Can Colgate get it done? Colgate was another darling of the media before the brackets came out. People thought Colgate should have been a little higher seeded, and they thought Texas should have been a 1 seed. So Colgate pulling Texas kind of changed a lot of people's opinions on Colgate moving on. I have Texas slightly here. I'm excited to see what the model says here, because I think Texas moves on, but I think Colgate covers here.
And 15 Colgate at Texas.
Yeah.
But let me see what's the spread on this.
It's got to be 12 and a half, 13, I would
Yeah, I think
assume.
it was big. I think it had Colgate covering. Let me see.
Texas should.
Yeah, 14. It likes Colgate to cover 14.
Colgate, they shoot lights out. But Texas, the guard play from Texas is just so damn good. And I think they've been a better team since Chris Beard left the program than they were while he was there. And yeah, I like this Texas team a lot. I actually had Texas losing to Penn State in the second round. But if Texas A&M moves on past Penn State, I'll probably change my opinion. And I think Texas moves on from that point. But yeah, Texas is a very, very, very good team. And we'll move on. We'll go to
talented.
Is it Houston Auburn here?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
H-Town down.
Yeah, I don't think Houston has any problems for a while.
Yeah.
I think they glide to the Sweet 16 pretty easily.
And if you got Iowa here, it doesn't like Iowa as much.
Yeah, I mean, I have Houston moving on. I have Houston. Houston's my national champion, so
boom, there you have it.
We'll get to it, but
I slam a jamma up in here.
Yeah, going into the Big 12 next year. Big 12 team has been in the national championship past four national championships. There's been a Big 12 team. So Houston's de facto Big 12 team at this point.
And then next up here, we got Miami, Kent State. It's got Miami. Moving on. That's the Florida, Miami again.
Yeah. I have Kent State moving on here in my bracket with a 1-13 matchup in the Sweet 16. But I think it's just inevitable. Like, whoever wins this game is just going to lose to Houston. So,
yeah. And then next up, so let's see. Let's start off with Pitt because that's who the model has being there. Up against number 3 Xavier. Yeah. I'll run through all 3 options for you guys. So this likes Pitt.
Oh, I have Iowa State moving on here versus Xavier.
Dude, I've been telling everybody all year, like, Pitt's the money team. Pitt is the money team
Pitt
that Vegas just does not believe in, no one believes in, and they just kept winning all year.
We might have to ride that Pitt train then. I don't know.
Mississippi State, it thinks Xavier is going to take out Mississippi State if they're the ones who are there. And then if you're taking Iowa State in this game, model likes Xavier.
I like Iowa State to move on there, but that doesn't make me feel very good.
All right, next up here, we got
A&M versus
Aggies,
Texas.
The good old rivalry game.
This should happen on Thanksgiving.
They're going to put the tournament. If this happens, they're going to put the tournament on pause. I heard them talking about it today. They're going to wait till Thanksgiving.
Texas A&M and a blowout? I don't know, man. That Texas, the model doesn't like Big 12 teams.
It doesn't like them this year. So it could just be an anomaly of numbers where like all their numbers are just mediocre because like they're so damn good and just knocking the crap out of each other. But
I don't have a whole lot of Big 12 teams like moving on, but like I like Big 12 teams early.
You take Penn State here. It likes Texas against Penn State.
I have Penn State moving on, and I like Texas to cover. Or I actually like Penn State to move on to play Iowa State in the Sweet 16. Is what I have my bracket. I have Iowa State versus Penn State in the Sweet 16.
Okay, let's bring this back up to the top. So we got Houston against
Miami.
That's of Ohio?
No, not this time. Whoa! Was not expecting that, but
there's your non-top 4 seed. That might be it. Because the next one, if the model's right, it has to be a non-top 4 seed coming out of here.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I mean, Miami's got the talent to do it. And Houston's best player is fighting a groin injury, which he's assumed to be back by the round of 16. So we'll see. But
Maybe the model
if he,
just knows. It's like a fortune teller. Just
if he's not back by then, this is a very likely possibility that this is where Houston goes down.
That's fun. Okay. All right, and I'll run through a few options here for you guys. So we'll start off with
what's the
Pitt,
Kent
'cause that's-
State? What does it say about Kent State here? Because
Oh.
I have Houston Kent State here.
Houston.
Closer than I thought.
Yeah. All right. So this next one, I'll give you guys a few different options. I'll start off with Pitt because that's who it has. That's who the model actually has projected it to be here.
Yeah.
Against Texas A&M.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Is that a tie?
Whoa. Down to the 1,000th.
We got Pitt.
Wow.
Oh, we got Pitt, boy.
Oh man, I might go through a future on Pitt to make the Final Four.
And then let's see if we're taking Mississippi State here.
Or Mississippi State.
Can be A&M. It has winning.
Yeah.
And then if we take Xavier.
Iowa State. Oh, Xavier.
Okay, we do Iowa State too.
I have Iowa State in this.
At A&M knocking the crap out of Iowa State.
Yeah. Don't like the Big
And
12.
then
I have Penn State beating Iowa State in this spot.
at A&M beating Xavier too.
Okay. It's
Texas
A&M.
beat Xavier. Texas wouldn't be Xavier. It thinks A&M's the best team in this bracket, I think.
Well, it also doesn't like Big 12.
Yeah, it does not. That's a number for you, man.
Yeah. That is about as close as it gets. I would love to see the spread on that.
And then, so in the final over here, it's going to have Pitt against number 5, Miami. Pitt.
Pitt in the Final Four. There's your 11 seed.
That's Mississippi State.
Nope.
Got Miami taking it. If we say that is Iowa
Xavier,
State.
Iowa State.
Got Miami.
Doesn't like Big 12. Xavier.
Doesn't like Big 12. The numbers might just hate Big 12 this year.
It's a tough conference. Battle tested.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see that being a real flaw in it this year. That like the numbers are just not in the Big 12's favor because they've beaten each other up so much that none of their numbers are that dominant.
Yeah, I mean Texas Tech was 16-16 and played Kansas twice with loss. Texas Tech lost to Kansas by 2-6, and Kansas one of the best teams in the country. So
just got Kansas knocking the crap out of Howard.
Tech lost by less points at Fog Allen than they did in Lubbock, and they didn't even sniff making the tournament. And I think Kansas might have been the number 1 overall seed. So, it's one of those years. All right, I don't think Kansas struggled with Howard here whatsoever. We can move on to the 8-9 Arkansas versus Illinois. We have the Must Bus going against Illinois here. Terrence Shannon Jr., Texas Tech legend, one of the two of ours most favorite players ever.
He's going to score about 50 points in this game. I
have Illinois here, but Eric Musselman in the tournament, he finds a way to the Elite Eight every year, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like Arkansas always finds a way.
Actually, yeah, they beat Terrence Shannon 2 years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, that was who knocked us out. Chris Beards last year.
Yeah.
In the Sweet 16. But, yeah, I like Illinois to move on here, and I like Illinois versus Kansas matchup in the round of 32.
Yeah, I'm all about Illinois this year just because I want to see Terrence Shannon just go off.
He very much can if he can stay healthy. I don't even know if he's fully healthy yet. But we'll go to the St. Mary's VCU matchup here. I like St. Mary's going into the tournament, but VCU is hot right now. One of the hottest teams in the country right now. I got VCU moving on against St. Mary's here.
There's no metrics in here for how a team's been doing like recently. So
yeah. So yeah, this like St. Mary's. I mean, St. Mary's is a 5 seed, 5-12 matchup. Probably the most popular upset in the tournament. It's 5-12. Slightly into St. Mary's here as far as the model goes.
St. Mary's got offense, man.
Yeah, they do. But VC's got offense too. They came alive late in the season, which we don't account for. But yeah. And then we'll move to the 4-13. We have UConn versus Iona. UConn. I have a future on UConn. Only team that I have a future on.
Likes UConn.
Yeah, if UConn wins the national championship, oh boy, I'm a very rich man. It's the only team I have a future on. I love UConn in this tournament. They got the region of death. This West region is the region of death, so it sucks for my future. But yeah, I have UConn moving on.
Okay, and then round. Next up, I'm gonna look at the playing game.
ASU versus Nevada. Two teams I've watched a lot of. Obviously watched a lot of West Coast games this year. I have Arizona State moving on, but this likes Nevada. But yeah, I don't think it matters. I think TCU moves on regardless.
Let's see. So number 6.
It's not going to like the Big 12. It's going to hate the Big 12. Yeah.
You're right.
Called that.
It does.
TCU's
what about against Arizona State? Loved them against Arizona State.
Yeah.
Just not against Nevada.
TCU's a damn good team. Very good team.
And then, so we got Gonzaga.
Gonzaga's a 3 seed is crazy. Gonzaga should have been a 2. Like, it's absolutely insane. They're playing Grand Canyon first round. I think Gonzaga wins this game by 30.
Is it?
It likes Grand Canyon. I don't know.
Barely. I don't know if I trust this one too much.
I think Gonzaga runs away with it. I think Gonzaga wins this game hand over. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but
I'm not sure if I trust this Gonzaga Grand Canyon one. That's interesting, though. It's interesting.
It's very interesting. I mean, so you look at the offensive possessions, almost identical. Defensive possessions, pretty close. Cover percent, Grand Canyon covers a little bit better. Margin of victory, Gonzaga's way up there. Strength of schedule, Gonzaga's way up there. I like Gonzaga in this game. I think
just so y'all know, these aren't the only factors going into it. These are just the ones that were easy to show. There's a bunch more stuff here.
Yeah,
that factors into all this. That's just
the basics.
Yeah, that's just the stuff that is readily, easily shown.
Yeah, but I like Gonzaga move on there. But we can push Grand Canyon through, see what they can do.
Hey man, I'm just this is the models bracket. It ain't mine.
This is the models bracket. Yeah, this ain't our bracket. This is the models bracket. We'll move on to Northwestern versus Boise State. I kind of like Boise State here, but I have Northwestern moving on. So
yeah, it's got the cats.
Yeah,
the cats.
I think that's a bad draw for Boise State there. And like I said, Mountain West doesn't do too good in the tournament. And then we'll go on to UCLA versus UNC Asheville. UCLA would have been my pick to win the championship if their best player didn't tear his Achilles. But I still think in this, I think they benefited from being in the region of death here because Mick Cronin's such a damn good coach. And I feel like the way he coaches is elevated whenever he is like back against the wall, like a cornered dog, basically. And I love UCLA in this region. I love UCLA here. I actually got UCLA in my Final Four, I believe. So, I got UCLA moving on here.
Move back up to the top. Get back up to the Rock Chalk Jayhawks
versus Illinois, fighting Illini.
Going up against his former team.
I got Kansas here. I likes Illinois.
Hates the Big 12.
Hates the Big 12. I got Kansas moving on here. Model X Illinois here. Model hates Big 12.
It does. It's just a fact at this point.
I don't think it does. It even have a Big 12 going to the? Does it have a single Big 12 team going to the Sweet 16?
I don't think so. Let's see.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. Best conference in basketball.
Got Houston.
Yeah.
Nope. No, it does not.
Yeah. If there's not a single Big 12 team in the Sweet 16, then this will be the craziest tournament ever. But we'll look at St. Mary's versus UConn here. I like UConn. I have UConn moving on. Loves UConn in this spot. What does it think about UConn versus VCU?
Sorry, UConn. And then we got Nevada. We'll give you guys the play-in options on this too.
I got TCU or Nevada versus Grand Canyon. I have Gonzaga versus TCU here.
So
it likes Nevada.
Let's take a look. Gonzaga. It likes Nevada against Gonzaga too.
Ooh.
It likes TCU against Gonzaga.
Does it? I have Gonzaga versus UCLA.
It likes Gonzaga against Arizona State.
So Gonzaga's just got to get past Grand Canyon. Or I guess Nevada's still up there. Okay.
Well, wait, what did I just say? Doesn't it? No, it likes TCU.
Oh, TCU versus Gonzaga. Okay.
So it doesn't hate the Big 12 completely. Just sometimes.
just sometimes, yeah.
Not as much as it hates the Zags.
Yeah. So we'll move on to what do we have? Northwestern versus UCLA here.
Versus 2 UCLA.
I like UCLA in this spot.
Close though. Like the injury could be enough there to bump Northwestern through.
Yeah, I mean, I think UCLA is just too damn good. Like I said, I think Mick Cronin. As crazy as it sounds, I think they're gonna find a way to elevate their play, losing their best player, because I feel like they are a pretty complete team, and I feel like Mick Cronin's just such a damn good coach. I would put him on par with anybody in the country right now as far as college coaches go. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we'll go to 9th-seeded Illinois
versus UConn
against 4th-seeded UConn.
Let me see my future.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Party's over, Illinois. I'm sorry. Sorry, Chief Lima Nick, but it's over.
I have a 30-1 UConn future that I took like back in December.
And if you want to take Kansas here, still got UConn. You want to take Arkansas here, still got UConn. You want to take Howard here and get real weird with it. It's all about Howard. No, it loves UConn.
I actually have UConn losing here to Kansas, but if UConn keeps moving on, like I'll have some great hedge opportunities because I have too much money on the UConn future.
Okay, and then let's see. So we got Nevada
versus UCLA.
Versus number 2 UCLA. It's got UCLA all the way.
This is where it ends. Yeah, I love UCLA in this spot. I have UCLA versus Kansas in my Elite Eight here.
If you're about the Sun Devils, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, UCLA.
If you're about TCU. TCU's the only one who's going to get this far, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it says TCU's party ends here as well.
Yeah, I love UCLA. I have UCLA in my Final Four.
What the Zags? Nope.
UCLA is a wagon. I mean, even with losing their best player, I still think UCLA is a wagon.
And then last one here, we got Connecticut, UConn versus UCLA. It's got UCLA. Close.
Pretty close. Yeah, I've UCLA beating Kansas here, but if it's UConn, like I said, I'm not complaining about it.
All right, so
Final Four, baby.
that's what separates the men from the boys right here.
All right, so my Final Four, I have Arizona versus USC and Houston versus UCLA.
Let's just punch those in for you first. So Arizona, USC. It's got USC.
Oh, I have Arizona winning, but
it's close.
It's close.
52-48. Yeah. And then what was the other one?
Houston versus UCLA.
UCLA.
I have Arizona versus Houston in my national championship, so even in the Final Four, I'm against the model in all 4 games. And then
right, so
I go Arizona, Houston. I have Houston winning.
H-time down.
I got Houston winning 69-64.
I don't got a projection on here for score, so
well,
not that I can easily pull up at least.
No, on the tournament challenge, I just you have to pick a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So that was my tiebreaker pick. So
the model's pick for the tiebreaker will be 1-0.
Yeah,
it only understands binary.
All right, so I got, like I said, I have Arizona, 2-seed Arizona versus 10-seed USC, 1-seed Houston versus 2-seed UCLA. So pretty chalk outside of the USC pick, but like I said, I think this field is one of the closest we've had in a long time, and I think some of the better teams are going to rise to the top. But I think up until the Elite Eight, you're going to see some crazy matchups. So we got Marquette playing in the national championship. Shaka Smart.
Yeah. Let's see. Against top 25 teams, Marquette is 7-2. Against top 25 teams, Alabama is 7-4. Interesting. And then let's see. We gotta run through all the options on this. So we'll start off with Pitt.
Got to
against 2-seed UCLA.
Something happened.
It's not Pitt. It's Pittsburgh. Oh, their road ends here at 50.06% confidence. UCLA beats Pittsburgh in the Final Four.
Just barely. Pittsburgh maybe. I might have to go in on Pittsburgh. I trust the model.
The Pitt wagon, man. The Panther wagon. I promise my wife did not cheat this. She went to Pitt and she did not break it in my spreadsheet and make it happen. Like,
I mean, you watch like the biggest sports fan I know.
Yeah, no, she's diehard. I have to password protect this thing. You have no idea.
Every time I talk to your wife, she's just like, go sports.
That's exactly what she says. But so if we throw in Mississippi State on this, Mississippi State's going to lose. Who else was on this branch?
Kansas, Illinois, UConn.
Wait. No, this is I'm talking, so Miami? Like from that bracket.
Houston, or no.
What did I do?
No. You're on the wrong one. You'd be Kansas, Illinois, VCU, UConn, TCU, Gonzaga.
No, instead of Pitt?
Yeah.
How you getting that? Pitt beat Miami to get here.
Oh, so you'd be looking at Houston. Yeah, Houston would be the team you're looking at here.
Hang on a second.
Got me all confused.
Sports Reference just decided they do not want me to have their data for the moment.
Yeah, it would be Houston. Houston's in the same. It's Houston, Indiana, Miami, Iowa, Texas A&M, Texas. If Texas beats Pitt, they would be
Wait,
in
what
the
are
Pitt
you?
spot.
My bad. I had to go fix the spreadsheet because the Sports Reference decided that
So Houston's the team you're looking at here, probably.
Why? Oh, wait.
Instead of Miami?
No, instead of Pitt.
Oh, instead of Pitt?
Instead of Pitt. Pitt had to beat Miami to get to the Final Four.
Okay, instead of Pitt, you'd be looking at Texas, probably. Texas, Xavier,
Okay, I was just going to
Indiana.
go backwards from the bracket. Like, so Pitt had to beat Miami to get here. So Miami doesn't like. So then A&M was the next one it had.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I have it in front of me, so it's probably not, like hard, not making sense to you. It likes A&M almost as much as Pitt here, and then prior to that,
Houston's the other
Texas.
Houston's the other team that can win that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Texas.
What does Houston look like in that?
Unlike Houston.
That's a good matchup, though. That's the matchup I have: Houston versus UCLA.
Like Xavier, they're like anybody.
UCLA's a wagon, but like I said, they lost their best players. So, what about Colgate?
Like Auburn.
What if Colgate makes a run? Oh
Like Colgate.
man, I would have loved to see like Colgate
Like
just
Drake. And like Indiana. Kent State. Kent State's coming through. Nope.
No. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, UCLA probably would have been a 1 seed if they didn't lose the best player. Oh, that's actually closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it actually likes Mississippi State a little. Not enough, but likes Kennesaw State a little bit too.
Much more than I thought it would. All right, so we have
Penn State.
We have UCLA versus who do we got coming out of the other side? We have UCLA versus who?
Marquette.
UCLA versus Marquette.
2 seeds.
Oh, I would like to see it. I have UCLA in this matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shaka Smart is your national champion.
I want it to happen only because it's Shaka Smart. Feed it to me. Give me Marquette. I may have to go place a future on Marquette after this podcast.
Let's see. Let's see if I can. I think I probably have a final score in here somewhere. Take a look. Yep. Marquette's going to win 70-67.
Ooh. Hey. I think it'd be bad for him if we didn't take Marquette to win the title here.
Yeah, I mean that's.
May have to go place that future.
I'm about to submit this bracket right now.
Let's do it. That's the models bracket. If you don't think Marquette's winning the title, you're an idiot.
That's the one.
That's the one. 70-67. Let's go. Marquette. Big East back on top.
Marquette. Jimmy Buckets is going to be sitting there courtside.
Oh, man. You know how much money that dude's going to make if they win? Jimmy Buckets never passes up an opportunity to make money.
Oh, it's in Houston this year?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sick if Houston wins it all then.
I have Houston winning it all against Arizona, so. But that is your shaving points model champion. The Marquette. What is their mascot?
I don't know.
The Marquette Marionettes.
Markers.
Marquette Markers. The Marquette Markers. Just like the University of Maine Baptist College.
Golden Eagles.
Marquette Golden Eagles are your national champions, boys. And I got to go place this future right now before the world finds out.
Yep. Before this is over. We're both gonna have futures on Marquette.
Hey, let's go. I already had UConn. And so if I can get Marquette and UConn to the Elite Eight, like I'll have some good hedge opportunities.
Yeah.
Love to see it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We have Marquette as our national champions in the bracket challenge. I personally have Houston over Arizona. Q has not filled out his bracket yet, but you'll be able to see his bracket if you go join our bracket challenge at the Shaving Points podcast on the ESPN Bracket Challenge. You'll be able to see all of our picks, all of our everything we have. Also, go to the website, shaving-points.com. Check out all the merch. Check out all the opportunities you have to make yourself some coin and March Madness. I'm so excited. This is my favorite time of the year. As soon as this is over, we have Masters. It's some of the most fun we can have. So I'm excited to do it. The model has been on fire all year. Let's see if the model can bring one home for the boys. We would love to see a Marquette championship. So I'm excited.
I'm here for it, man.
I'm upset we're not in Biloxi, but I'm excited.
Very, very upset, but
All right.
very excited.
Y'all have a good one. We'll bring y'all some NFL free agency next week. Talk more about the tournament. We'll be talking about the round of 16, Sweet 16, Elite 8 moving forward. See how the model did next week. Maybe talk some Aaron Rodgers next week. Maybe talk some Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. See what the Bears have done with all that money. Something's happening in the next couple of days. We're excited to talk about it. We wanted to talk about a little NFL this week, but not enough has happened to really dive into it. So we'll do about a full half and half. We'll do half NFL, half NCAA tournament next week, and I'm so excited to dive in.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Y'all